Our countdown to kickoff continues. Today's stop is Ada, and our visit now is with not only the head coach of the East Central Tigers, but the interim athletic director for East Central, as Dr. Jeff Williams has stepped down, and filling his shoes, at least right now, is Coach Al Johnson. Coach, listen, I know you're in the middle of camp, but you have a lot of other things going on too, especially as, you know, the new athletic year is getting underway for the conference, and I'm sure you have a lot of duties. Can you take us through at least a couple of them, and how's it going in camp right now?
Yeah, that's a lot of words in that question that to answer it properly. I will say there is a lot of extra duties, a lot of things you have to do, a lot of checks and balances, NCAA wise, school wise, things you have to do, a lot of signatures. And one of those, the biggest thing I would say though, which has helped a lot, is we have a coaching staff that's not new. Almost all of our head coaches have been here through the COVID year, and most have been here far longer than I have. And so they kind of know what needs to be done when, and quite honestly, they run their programs the way they should be run. And that helps me in this current role while I try to navigate it, because it was really only happened 2 weeks before we were supposed to start football season and start training camp in August. So there wasn't a whole lot of time to get to know what the job really all entailed and fully understand. But they did know what it took for them. And so I'm thankful for them, and we'll just keep figuring this out as we go. And the old thing everybody keeps asking me, and the first thing I tell them, and I mean it, is don't forget your day job. And my day job is to coach football and to try to keep doing what I'm supposed to do to help our football team. And while I try to learn what the athletic director's role needs to be as we move forward here at East Central.
You know, having a coaching staff that, as you mentioned, that has some experience, has been there, has been on campus as well with you, I'm sure helps a lot. It probably helps a lot having one of your solid players coming back. If you have somebody that picked up more than 1,100 yards rushing in the previous full season, isn't that something that helps coming back as well? Absolutely. Not only, and you mentioned it, the yards, but from day one that we got here, like going on year 4 right now, is the leader that he is off the field, in the weight room, in the locker room. And then including on the field, but on the field, not so much on Saturdays, because everybody knows what he does on game day. It's what he does in practice, and how every rep, he knows he's our best player. He's known he's our best player probably since the 3rd game of his college career at East Central. But he doesn't practice like he's the best player, in the sense that goes out and doesn't let anybody outwork him ever. He literally goes out and tries to prove it every day, and things like that. When you're a leader by example, those are the things that a coach, you just can't put words to some days, how much that means, because you can't add it up on what it really brings as a value to those young players. And Mookie Douglas is by far our best player. He's by far one of our best leaders. I love that kid. Our team loves him, personality wise, work ethic wise. And then thirdly, the talent. And that's the part that everybody sees. I'm just lucky I get to see those other things on a daily basis. You call him Mookie, and of course, if you're a fan, or you may be watching and you're getting ready to see East Central play, you may see Ontario in your schedule or your program. So, yes, a solid player in Douglas. But you know what? There's more to that offense, too. And you have a couple of quarterbacks, not just one, but a couple of quarterbacks that really can do a host of things for you, passing and running as well, and Hertzer and Gatewood. Talk about the rest of your offense.
Yeah, those quarterbacks have really made some big jumps. Coming in our second year in 2019, our last full season, both of them were freshmen. And they did a great job as freshmen. You know they're going to make freshman mistakes. Quarterback is by far, in my opinion, the hardest position in football at any level to play. And the old line gets mad when I say this. They're not even second. That cornerback is second.
But quarterback is by far the hardest position. There's just a lot to learn, a lot that teams throw at you week to week. Every defense plays you just a little bit different. And those guys have really come a long ways. They are very talented. They're very smart. They're good leaders. And we are blessed to have two quarterbacks that I believe in most teams, either one of them could be the starter on most teams in our conference, minus probably 2, 3, 4 other teams. But in general, either one of them could do it. And we're lucky that sometimes you need to have a quarterback in almost every offense to win. And we're blessed to have two. And then sometimes that makes it hard. How do you get enough reps, keep the growing process from both happening? Because as quarterback, as you grow, you need to take some of those reps. You have to live through and see those looks to be able to fully grow into where we're trying to get to, and to find reps for both of them sometimes can be difficult. But at the same time, it's a good problem to have. And so right now both of those guys are maturing well. They're running the offense, and to have two captain-like quarterbacks, one with the ones and one A and one B, it's really, we are blessed to have that.
We're speaking now with Al Johnson from East Central, and the Tigers are picked 6th in the GAC preseason coaches poll. And Coach, a lot of strengths on offense, strengths on defense as well, as you had solid performance. You got a couple of opportunities during the spring to get to see your defense play. Cameron Jones leading the way for you, among others.
Yeah, absolutely. Our defense is incredible when they show up every day. And I think that's really the tone for our whole season. Cameron Jones had a great spring. Our defense had a great spring. We all had to go through the same amount of time, unfortunately, not playing as COVID. And we tried to talk to him about consistently, like, we have this day, you have an opportunity. It might not be what you want, but can we maximize the time that we have? And I think we did that for the most part. I think the big things is in 19, we talked about being the youngest team in America, which we were in Division II, starting 9 freshmen at the end of the year on defense and 7 on offense. And incredibly, even the backups to the freshmen were freshmen. And so we were truly the youngest team in America in 19, and we needed to play in 20 to be able to have those lessons that needed to be learned that you just can't teach. Now, it's not that I don't try to teach it, but I remember myself at 19, like whatever people told me, like it had to hit me in the face before I realized, oh, that's what you meant. And that's somewhat of our team needed. And I think we had a small dose of it in the spring. And I'm hoping that they've learned enough. And a lot of those lessons that I'm talking about is just consistency. I think we know from playing Tarleton and playing SNU and Southern Nazarene and scrimmaging Harding that we are a very talented team. We have the ability to play at a very high level. We just have to be able to do that and bring it every day. The GAC is an incredibly tough conference when it comes to football. The teams every week can beat you. Just look at historically, like games and outcomes. If you don't show up and bring it every day, every Saturday, someone's going to beat you. And that's just the way it is. And so we have to show up with no bye week for 11 straight games. That's why I always give credit to Ouachita. And they are incredibly impressive to be able to have the win streak that they've had, to conference week in and week out. When the last couple of years, every team is trying to bring their best to beat you. And to be able to do what they did is truly impressive. And that's where I'm trying to get our guys to understand that you might have had 2 really good practices. We might play 2 really good games throughout the season, but you have to find a way to string it together. If you want to be who they say they want to be as a team, you have to do that for 11 straight weeks. And that's not easy. There's a lot of adversity that'll come in 11-week straight season between injuries. Talking about, if next running back might have to take more snaps, the next quarterback, who's backing up Cam Jones if he has to miss a quarter. All those things that if you want to be who you can't be after the game making an excuse, well, this is what happened. And so those are a lot of things that we talk about and we're trying to get to. Happy we're 6th. The players are probably mad we're 6th, but it's a lot better than what we were. At the end of the day, though, the preseason poll is just that. We get to play come September 4th against Harding.
Coach, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes. Did I lose internet?
Yeah, I lost internet for a second, but I'll be able to patch it together.
Okay.
If you pick up, you were saying, all those things put together, and just go from there, and I'll stitch it as best I can.
All those things put together really is what'll make our season. It is what happens in those times and how do we deal with the distractions. Can we play consistent? Can the next man step up? That second third of your roster, almost every GAC school has to play with 1, 2, 3, or 4 starters on each side of the ball at some point in the year that weren't starters day one. And who's going to step up and make the most of their opportunity? I mean, that ultimately will happen. And I'm excited to see it. I know we have the talent. Our guys know we have the talent. I'm just really trying to teach every lesson I can, and hopefully they take it from practice. I would much rather try to teach them lessons from practice than after a loss. And that's what I'm trying to get through to them.
I understand. Well, Coach, the season gets underway on a Saturday in Searcy, September 4th, as you all travel to take on Harding, one of the perennial favorites always in the conference. You've talked about that. And then after that, the East Central Tiger fans get their first opportunity to see you in 2021 on September 11th, as you all will be hosting Arkansas Tech. Do you have anything to say about the opening to your schedule?
I wish it was on a Thursday, but we're going to take it. I'm just glad that we're going to get to play football again. I'm glad that GAC football is back. Our guys have missed it. We're excited. I hope the fans come out and enjoy it and make the most of their opportunities. Come out and see everybody play this year.
All right. Coach Al Johnson and interim AD Al Johnson as well. A lot on your plate, I know, with camp going on right now. So success to you and to the Tigers. East Central picked 5th according to the preseason coaches poll in the Great American Conference. Coach, thank you very much for taking time with us today as we count down to kickoff in the GAC.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.